7 things every older adult must avoid when living alone. Some days the quiet feels like a soft blanket. Other days it feels like a heavy weight. Living alone in the later chapters of life is both a gift and a challenge. A mix of freedom, solitude, and the steady hum of your own. There's a certain courage in making coffee for one, in keeping the home warm just for yourself, in knowing you can still stand on your own 2 feet. But I know there are moments when the silence seems louder than any voice, and you start wondering if you're taking good enough care of yourself, not just your body, but your spirit. The truth is, independence is precious, but it's also fragile. It can be chipped away by small choices we ignore, habits we think are harmless, and the slow passing of days where we stop paying attention to what really matters. I'm speaking to you now because your life still matters deeply. Every sunrise you wake to is another chance to protect your well-being, to choose wisely, to keep that light inside you burning strong. I'm not here to make you fearful. I'm here to remind you of your power. You've already faced storms and walked through seasons others could never imagine. This is about making sure the years ahead are not only safe, but rich with purpose, connection, and joy. There are certain pitfalls that can quietly steal your health, your happiness, and your sense of independence if you're not careful. But the good news is they can be avoided. And once you know what they are, you can live these years not just surviving, but thriving. Because you deserve that. Number 1, neglecting your health. Small problems become big problems. When you're living alone, it's easy to shrug off a little ache in your knee, a dizzy spell, or a persistent cough. You tell yourself, it's nothing, I'll be fine. But here's the truth. At this stage in life, small health issues rarely stay small. They have a way of growing quietly, stealing your strength and chipping away at your independence without you realizing it. Think about it. One missed doctor's appointment can lead to another, and then another. Before long, a simple checkup that could have caught something early turns into a hospital visit for something much harder to treat. And it's not just about illness. It's about keeping the energy and mobility that allow you to enjoy the life you've built. I've heard too many stories of older Americans who waited too long. A neighbor of mine, Mrs. Carter, used to walk her dog every morning until she started feeling short of breath. She put it off for months, thinking she was just out of shape. By the time she saw her doctor, the heart condition that could have been managed easily had progressed. She told me later, with tears in her eyes, "I thought I was being strong. I was actually making it worse." Taking care of your health is not a sign of weakness. It's a declaration of self-respect. Regular checkups, eating well, moving your body daily, and staying hydrated are not luxuries, they're essentials. And when something feels off, you owe it to yourself to speak up and get it checked. Your health is the foundation of your independence. Guard it fiercely, because when you care for your body, you protect your ability to live life on your own terms, in your own home, for as long as possible. Number 2. Letting social connections fade away. Loneliness doesn't come like a storm. It seeps in slowly, like water through a crack you didn't notice. One day you realize it's been weeks since you've had a real conversation with someone who knows your heart. And for older adults living alone, this quiet drift into isolation is one of the most dangerous things to ignore. We are wired for connection. Without it, our minds grow heavy, our hearts grow weary, and our days lose their shape. It's not just an emotional toll. Research shows that loneliness can be as harmful to your health as smoking or obesity. Sometimes it starts with little things. Declining an invitation because you're tired, skipping church or the community center because it's cold outside, deciding not to call a friend because they're probably busy. But each choice builds distance, and before long it becomes harder to reach out at all. I remember Mr. Wilson from the senior group I used to volunteer with. He was quiet, polite, and kept to himself until we started inviting him to our weekly coffee meetups. At first, he'd just sit and listen, but week by week, his eyes lit up more. He told me once, "This is the only time I laugh out loud anymore." That laughter, that human warmth, it was like medicine for him. Don't wait for someone else to reach out first. Call a friend, join a group, invite a neighbor over for tea. Say yes more often. And if distance or mobility makes it hard, use technology. Video calls, online classes, even simple text messages can keep the threads of connection alive. Staying socially connected isn't about filling time. It's about filling your heart. It's the antidote to the quiet that feels empty, and it can turn the walls of your home into a place of warmth instead of isolation. Number 3. Ignoring safety precautions at home. The place you call home should be your safest haven. But for older adults living alone, even the most familiar space can hold hidden dangers. It's not the dramatic accidents we see in movies that are the greatest threat. It's the small, everyday hazards we overlook. A throw rug that slides under your feet. A loose cord stretched across the floor. Poor lighting on the way to the bathroom at night. Each of these might seem harmless, but a single fall can change your life in an instant. Broken bones, hospital stays, long recoveries, and sometimes losing the independence you've worked so hard to keep. I remember visiting my Aunt Linda after she tripped over a stack of magazines in her living room. She was a strong, active woman in her 70s, always busy with her garden and her crafts. But one slip left her with a fractured hip and months of rehab. "I never thought something so small could stop my whole life," she told me. The good news: most accidents at home are preventable. Clear your walkways. Use non-slip mats in the bathroom. Install grab bars where you might need them, near the toilet, in the shower. Keep a sturdy chair nearby if you get dizzy sometimes. And make sure your home is well lit, especially in hallways and stairs. Some people resist making these changes because they think it means admitting weakness. But it's not about weakness, it's about strength. Safety precautions don't take away your independence, they protect it. They ensure that you can keep living life your way, without unnecessary risks that could take it all away in an instant. Number 4. Overlooking financial planning and protection. Money may not be the source of happiness, but it is the foundation of security, especially when you're living alone. Without a partner to share responsibilities or catch oversights, you are the guardian of every bill, every decision, every choice about how your resources are used. And without a plan, the weight of that responsibility can become overwhelming. Too many older adults fall into the trap of just getting by month to month. But living without a financial cushion can make even small surprises. A broken water heater, a dental bill, a car repair, feel like an earthquake. And unfortunately, older Americans are often targets for scams that prey on kindness, trust, or confusion in the moment. I'll never forget the story of Mr. Jenkins, a retired school teacher in our town. He prided himself on living frugally, but he didn't realize a series of small monthly charges on his bank statement were for a subscription he never signed up for. By the time his daughter discovered it, he had lost hundreds of dollars, money that could have gone toward his medication and groceries. Protecting yourself means knowing exactly where your money is going, setting a realistic budget, and building an emergency fund, even if it's small at first. It means being cautious about giving out personal information, verifying any unexpected calls or emails, and talking to trusted family members or advisors before making big financial decisions. Financial planning isn't about greed or fear. It's about peace of mind. It's about knowing that you can handle what life throws at you without losing sleep at night. When your finances are secure, Your mind is free to focus on living, not just surviving. Number 5. Stopping new learning and curiosity. There's a quiet danger in telling yourself, "I'm too old for that." When curiosity fades, the mind begins to shrink into the same old routines, the same old conversations, the same old days. And while comfort is important, so is growth. Your brain is a living thing. It needs challenge, stimulation, and the spark of discovery to stay healthy. I've seen older friends light up like children when they try something new. Whether it's learning to play the guitar, exploring digital photography, or simply taking a class at the community center. The act of learning reignites the spirit. It's not just about skill. It's about waking up parts of your mind that have been sleeping. There was a woman in my town named Margaret, who at 78 decided to take an online course about world history. She told me she'd always been fascinated by the subject, but never had time to explore it during her working years. The way her face lit up when she shared facts she'd learned, it was proof that curiosity can make us feel alive, no matter our age. New learning doesn't have to be formal. It could be trying a new recipe, reading a different genre of books, joining a discussion group, or even learning how to use a new app on your phone. Every time you try something new, you send a message to yourself, "I'm still growing. I'm still here." And here's the beautiful truth. The more you learn, the more connected you feel to the world. It gives you something to talk about, something to look forward to, and a reason to stay engaged with life. Don't let the world become smaller than it has to be. Stay curious, and you'll find that age becomes a door to wisdom, not a wall. Number 6. Refusing to ask for help. There's a pride that comes with living alone, with proving to yourself and the world that you can manage just fine. But sometimes, that pride can quietly work against you. Refusing to ask for help doesn't make you stronger. It can make life harder, lonelier, and even more dangerous. I understand the fear behind asking. You don't want to be a burden. You don't want anyone thinking you can't handle things. You've spent decades building a life of self-reliance, and you don't want to see that slip away. But here's the truth. Asking for help is not surrendering your independence. It's protecting it. I think of my neighbor, James, who lived alone after his wife passed. He struggled with grocery shopping because the bus stop was far from his home, but he never told anyone. One day, I noticed he was eating mostly canned soup and crackers. When I asked why, he admitted it was just too much trouble to get to the store. Now a group of us take turns picking up fresh food for him, and he still does all his cooking himself. He's independent, but he's not struggling in silence anymore. Help can come in many forms. A ride to the doctor, help moving heavy items, guidance with a confusing piece of technology, or simply someone to check in on you. By letting others step in when needed, you're creating a safety net for yourself. And in turn, you're giving them permission to ask for help when they need it too. Independence doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means having the wisdom to know when to lean on others so you can keep living your life fully, safely, and with dignity. Number 7. Forgetting to nurture your joy and purpose. When you live alone, it's easy to let the days blend together. You get up, follow the same routine, and before you know it, weeks have passed without anything that truly made your heart feel alive. This is one of the most dangerous things to ignore, because joy and purpose are not luxuries. They are lifelines. Purpose gives you a reason to wake up in the morning with energy. Joy gives you the strength to keep going when the days feel heavy. Without them, life can become a slow drift, even if you're safe and healthy. I once met a man named Robert at a community gardening project. He was in his 80s, living alone, and admitted that for years he'd spent most of his time watching television. "I was safe, I was fed, but I wasn't living," he said. Then one day, a neighbor invited him to help plant tomatoes. That small invitation turned into a passion. He began volunteering twice a week, sharing gardening tips with children, and even leading a group for other seniors. His face lit up when he talked about the garden because it gave him both joy and a reason to connect with others. Finding joy and purpose doesn't have to mean changing your whole life. It can be as simple as tending to a plant, writing letters to family, painting, singing, mentoring a young person, or joining a cause you care about. The key is to have something that pulls you forward, something that matters to you. These years are not just about getting through each day. They're about filling them with meaning. Because when you nurture your joy and purpose, you not only live longer, you live better. Conclusion: living fully, living wisely, living alone as an older adult is a balance between freedom and responsibility. You've earned the right to enjoy your independence, but it takes wisdom and intention to protect it. Avoiding these 7 pitfalls: neglecting your health, letting social ties fade, ignoring safety, overlooking finances, stopping curiosity, refusing help, and forgetting joy can make the difference between simply existing and truly living. You've weathered storms, raised families, built careers, and given so much of yourself to others. Now this chapter is yours to write. Guard your well-being, keep your connections alive, fill your days with purpose, laughter, and learning, accept help with grace, and give it when you can. The truth is, you're not done yet. Your story still has pages left, and they can be some of the most beautiful chapters of your life. Live them fully, with courage and with hope, because you deserve nothing less.